Yes,
When it comes to this film, can you tell me
yes.
about the reception you've gotten so far when it comes to you as Marlon Brando?
Ah, the reception. Yes, happily. My gratitude, a certainly a popular and a dear topic to me. I'm so overwhelmed by how vociferous the support has been, and how authentic. We've been punching above our weight from the beginning in taking on this otherwise insurmountable task. Certainly for its budget, location, scope, and all along the way, it's been celebrated by people who've been fascinated by the story and certainly the man. And now more than ever, are we seeing it kind of really just being carried upon the shoulders of the masses in a way that I guess no studio can really game. I think they aspire to, but it's always really hard to tap that. And our marketing team at Epic Media has done a phenomenal job, um, and our folks at Iconic and our release as well. And it's just been we're just incredibly grateful for support like yours and really genuine fascination on the topic.
Now, there's many messages in this film, of course, the environment, who Marlon was, but also a grand friendship as well. Can
Mm.
you talk about what parts of these kind of grew with you as you progressed through this film?
I never stopped learning about him. He was full of complexities and certainly contradictions, as I guess we all are. But what a fascinating and fascinated man he was. He was so curious, and I found connective tissue with him, which was really my on ramp into playing him. Was connecting to the things that we shared, which was a love of science and the company of engineers who are solving for X, and and how one in our unique position can leverage celebrity by connecting solutions to problems. That's just something that was in my DNA, and I couldn't believe that was, really the story that we were telling. Um, so yes, it's one thing to have, I guess, similar appearances in some ways, it was that was really so kind of remarkable. Um, and what a phenomenal and how far he took it. I mean, this man was the first Hollywood activist, I guess. Really walked the walk when it was dangerous to do so, and put his money where his mouth was. You know.
Now, you're no stranger to CGI and special effects too, but can you talk about, as an actor, the tactile moments of being in Tahiti, of putting those things, and becoming Brando with the different makeup and effects too, and how that kind of helped your performance?
It's there's nothing quite like the immersive experience when you're making a film. This is a love letter to Marlon, but it's also a love letter to the people of Tahiti and incredible residents of that place. And it didn't take much to connect with the mana, the bass resonant frequency. It's a very, it's Vulcan. I was born of volcanoes. It was forged in fire, and whatever thrust that rock to stick out in the middle of the largest ocean on the planet. That's some mojo. There's something that needs to be said there. When you look at a map, I encourage everyone to look at a map and take a look at where Tahiti is and ask yourself why. And when you go there, you go, oh yeah, because it had to be. This was a a quest for life, a lust for life that on a geological level was, I think, unprecedented. Maybe Everest, you know, uh, but this was like an underwater Everest that kind of we're just kind of hanging out on the very pinnacle of. And man, it you feel the significance of that. And I encourage anyone to visit. It's the most beautiful place. Incredible food, incredible fish, naturally. Um, and And as far as getting into the makeup and the gear, I mean, our team were shortlisted for an Oscar, and rightfully so. They're incredible. Um, Connecting with his family and the people who worked with him, um, and hearing the stories and building at points in the script, parts in our narrative based upon their accounts and their stories was really fun.
Now you mentioned Mojo, and I'd like to ask, have you ever met someone, or who was the first person you met who had that kind of gravity, that gravitas? When you met them, you just said this person attracts. They define.
Well, that usually was, I had identified that long before. I mean, because they resonate so, I don't say loudly, elegantly, effectively. It preceded my in-person meeting, um, but it affirmed it. When I met Sean Connery at the commissary at Pinewood Studios, where he had filmed countless Bond movies in that very room. We were lining up getting Lamb, and I was filming Memphis Belle, and he was filming Russia House. And the dude was 6'4" and just was gorgeous and cool, and the aura coming off this man was everything you imagined. And I was like, all right, that's Connery, you know,
Yeah. Well,
living up to it, you know.
as you should. That's a name that people talk about who just automatically knew who he was from an early age as well, too early on. And I will say I absolutely love Memphis Belle too. It's
Wow, thanks.
yeah, I own many VHSs, and that was one I played many a time. So I do want to go into their friendship between Bernard and him too. Um, was there any talk, or do you just kind of look at the page and you and John figured out this relationship? Because it started as, on Marlon's side, you see him kind of seeing this man who maybe needs an escape or could be a friend. I mean, how did you kind of see that relationship?
I think it was really well crafted on the page by Bill Fishman, our writer director. I think and then we kept chipping away at it, and um, I remember we were, you know, developing drafts, the psychology of um, when someone is your friend and your employee, it becomes complex, and that's a double-edged sword and becomes a very kind of fickle place that the employee friend can recline into, um, perhaps too much, and it's bound to have conflict and humor as well. And the other concept we were thinking of was the proximity of genius, was when you level the playing field to make, I guess, your famous friend comfortable by not treating him as such, which Brando said he, preferred immeasurably. Yet the complexity there is, I think there are times where he leaned upon his celebrity and otherness and probably expected or would have demanded that in some way. But what I meant by the proximity of genius is I think Bernie fancied himself the Brando of architecture for a minute and was maybe overextended himself. That's curious. Alerts. Sorry. Um, so it hijinks ensue. Like it's a recipe for fabulous disaster. I can't hear you. I'm sorry, you're muted.
So I said, but it's a beautiful disaster as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I have to let you go, but I want to thank you and thank you for your passion and finding the passion of Marlon along the way as well. And hopefully, next time you come to Vegas, we love your acting, but we'd love to maybe see an art exhibition as well, perhaps. So,
Oh, sweet of you. Thank you. I'd love to. I look forward to seeing you again.